I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network, and this is a breaking news alert. Fani Willis, the Fulton County District Attorney who has been leading the investigation before the special grand jury in Fulton County impaneled to investigate election interference, specifically as it takes place within her jurisdiction in Fulton County, Georgia. Well, she just spoke with the Washington Post in a very rare interview for a prosecutor to give during an investigation like this. She described that the reason she was giving this interview with the Washington Post is in the interest of transparency. And she discussed the status and progress of her investigation. And she said that the investigation into election interference in Fulton County has demonstrated that there's been a lot of serious criminal activity that has taken place in connection with election interference into the 2020 election. I think we all obviously knew that headline maybe to some is like duh, but nonetheless to have the prosecutor of Fulton County who's before the special grand jury say that is something that is rare and different to say it publicly. Fani Willis, district attorney, also said that she sent out over 17 target letters to individuals. She did not mention the individuals by name who received those target letters, but we have a pretty good idea who they are. Rudy Giuliani and the members of the Georgia legislature who were involved in the process of submitting fake electors that would abrogate the will of the people. The electors who reflected the Trump scheme of electing the electors voting for Trump instead of the actual slate of electors who were certified by Brad Raffensperger. And this fake elector plot was part of a broader plot within a lot of legislatures controlled by Republicans, where Republicans met in secret to submit these fake electors. And the idea was on January 6th, they wanted Vice President Pence to throw out the real electors based on the objections by Republican Congress members and senators at the federal level, and take these fake electors that were sent by the state legislatures and certify Trump as the king and emperor. When that didn't happen, it led to the insurrection. So those individuals who participated in that fake elector scheme received the target letters. It's not believed at this time that Trump has specifically received a target letter, and Fani Willis has said the decision about whether to prosecute Trump is still being decided, but obviously the connective tissue of all of the crimes that she's investigating lead to him, and he's of course recorded having the conversation with Brad Raffensperger to find him the 11,000 plus votes. And of course, we know that there were other conversations in just addition to that one. And Brad Raffensperger has spoke before the special grand jury. Governor Kemp was set to speak before the special grand jury, but he claimed that he shouldn't speak to them until after the election in November, and so that's when he will go before the grand jury. He obstructed that process, a little bit in the sense of he waited until the last minute to make that claim, but nonetheless, he's going to go before the special grand jury. And just when I say obstruction, not in the criminal legal sense, but just in the he waited until the last minute. He was playing games, in other words, and dragged that out until the very last minute and then said, oh, I shouldn't be able to appear until after the November election, but it's fine. He's going to go before that special grand jury. In any event, in this article between Fani Willis and the Washington Post, she said that beginning around October 7th, leading up to the election, for that month, there'll be a quiet period in her investigation. And then after the elections, it will pick back up again in earnest. And she expects to complete her investigation by the end of the year. The process that's used by that special grand jury in Fulton County is the special grand jury makes a report and a recommendation, and then actually another grand jury would be formed based on that recommendation to then potentially bring the criminal charges. So it's a two-step process, and the process for the special grand jury is overseen by a state court judge who is the one you've been hearing about kind of making rulings on various objections and people filing motions to quash subpoenas like Governor Kemp did, and other stuff like that was going on. But, here is big news. You have the district attorney with a special grand jury impaneled discussing that there have been findings of significant criminal conduct. No charging decisions have been reached regarding these specific targets. And Fani Willis did say that there would be significant criminal sentences, significant prison sentences at stake if the individuals are convicted of the crimes for which that they could be charged. But ultimately, those charging decisions really won't be happening until the end of the year. But nonetheless, to see Fani Willis taking this investigation incredibly serious. This is breaking news in the sense that it's breaking that she had that conversation. I'll give you my legal context right now, though. A lot of the things that I just said to you, if you've watched the legal podcast that I do, Legal AF, where we've dissected and really have gone through the different filings, all that stuff is in the actual filings that Fani Willis office has made in connection with the special grand jury. So none of that is shocking to me, although the fact that she's speaking to the Washington Post, and as she says, in the interest of transparency, that is definitely significant news and shows that she's very, very serious and she wants the public to know about it. And again, it's unusual and rare, and it's in contrast. It's styles. You have the Department of Justice, which has kept things completely under wrap, tight-lip, as a result of being under wrap and tight-lip to a T. People have kind of criticized it and said, well, what's going on? We want to know information. Is it going too slow? Until you started to see right now the flurry of grand jury subpoenas at the federal level and Merrick Garland's other legal filings, which demonstrated, no, they've been working really hard. You want to know my own personal opinion? My own preference is what the Department of Justice is doing. That would be more my style in an investigation like this. Because even though I think Fani Willis's interview with the Washington Post didn't necessarily tread new ground, the fact that she spoke was new ground and stated those facts was important and breaking news. But I just think that it has the potential for unforced errors that are unneeded, because the fact that Washington Post reported that, and I've given you this report, it makes us all feel good, right? But I think what we all care most about, what will make us feel very good, is that the individuals who committed these egregious crimes, which were threats to our democracy, are prosecuted. I can deal with the frustration of the unknown, knowing that an investigation is on a course to accountability, as much as I'd like to know more information and to be able to report it to you. So that's just my own view if you want to know how I feel about it. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit the subscribe button now. Let's grow this community together, fueled by you, fueled by democracy. And if you want to know how else you can support this network, 100% independent, no outside investors, not funded by billionaires, not funded by millionaires or even 100,000-aires, fueled by you and democracy. To keep this platform fully independent, here's how you can help. Here's how you can do an action item. Go to patreon.com, patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. There are different membership tiers. You could become a producer of our podcast, get credit as a producer. You could get postcards from the brothers. We also have other exclusive benefits and podcasts on the Patreon site that are exclusive to those members. Nothing changing with our YouTube content. Nothing changes with our existing podcast content. You can still check out the MeidasTouch podcast and the Legal AF podcast and Politics Girl and all our other podcasts that are hosted here for free as you normally can. This is just a way that we can help build the community and sustain it. And also we can offer a little bit of extra content for those who do that. And we're so grateful to you no matter what you decide to do. Again, it's patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Also, if you want to get the freshest pro-democracy gear, go to store.MeidasTouch.com, store.MeidasTouch.com. I'm Ben Meiselas. Until next time, let's keep fighting for our democracy.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs, It Wasn't Rigged, You're Just a Loser, at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.